All right, Felix, right now we're gonna go over a process of applying sealer, right? And
Correct.
then most of the times our clients and a lot of contractors miss the aspect of applying the sealer is gonna make it shine. I don't want anything shiny, right? So what are we gonna show today is that there's so many different options when it comes down to sealer. And we have two of the most popular ones out here right now in the industry. And then let's go over them and tell me what's the difference between sealer A and sealer B, which is, this one is the color boost?
Yes, that's the color boost.
And this one is the...
It's a natural look.
A natural look, so it's gonna look natural, right?
Yes.
So what's the difference between those two?
Good. Okay, so good points. So basically both these sealers are very, they work very well for polymeric sand.
Okay.
First of all, let's start there. So basically both these sealers are what we consider penetrating sealer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not a film forming, they have no glue in there because realistically you're going to use polymeric sand.
Right.
You use polymeric sand, most of the contractors use polymeric sand. So there's other types of sealers in the industry. We even manufacture some that actually, they'll say all-in-one. So basically what that means is it actually adds an enhancement depending on the sheen. We have a matte finish, we have a satin finish, and we also have a gloss finish. And it also offers stain protection. So that type of sealer is what we call an all-in-one, and those ones work well for people that are not using polymeric sand. It's kind of like an all-in-one, like I explained earlier. All-in-one, kind of very similar to an all-in-one soap and conditioner. So today we're going to focus on pretending that we have polymeric sand in these pavers, and you can notice that we have two different finishes of pavers, right? We have a textured, more of a rustic look, and then we have more of a standard pillow top looking paver.
Got it.
Okay, so that finish, obviously you can see it has a little bit of aging, little scuffing. So that type of paver right there, people pay for that look, right? Can you see the difference on this finish and that finish? That looks more rustic. This looks more, I would say, finished, okay? So this sealer right here is designed to actually enhance the look of this paver right here. So these minor imperfections, let's call it construction, right? Little scuffing.
Even this right here, it's usually from the transportation, right? As they are unloading the pallet from the truck, it shifts a little, then it gives this surface scratch, which this can cover, right?
Yes, and you know, some of this will come out is during your cleaning process, which honestly is what we recommend as a company, is you clean prior to your sealing. But for sake of demo, let's just pretend these pavers are already cleaned. So yes, we're going to apply this one. So this is called Color Boost. This is actually a penetrating sealer and does not have any glue, and it will not leave a residue on the surface, okay? So it will not leave a shine on there, it will not leave a glare. It's just going to richen these pavers up more like a matte finish. So like if you take your water hose, before you want to choose Color Boost, you can actually wet your pavers, and while it's drying, when that sheen goes away, that's going to give you a very good indication of what this is going to look like. We also have samples as well. We strongly recommend that whatever paver your homeowner selects is seal a couple of their pavers just to make sure that they like what it does to their actual pavers. So this is called Color Boost. This is, like I said, a non-film forming sealer. It doesn't stabilize the sand, and it shouldn't because you're using polymeric sand. Now getting to this one over here, like I said, some people, they pay for this texture, right? It's an aged look, it makes the paver look old. If I was to actually install the Color Boost on something like this, it basically, it actually makes these pavers look new. And I don't think a homeowner would want that because they just paid for it to look older, because this obviously costs more money because of the process the manufacturing have. So for this type of installation, we recommend going with a natural look, because the way you see these pavers right now is the way they're going to look after we seal it. All right, so before you do any sealing, okay, you want to make sure that the pavers are dry, right? You want to make sure that the pavers are dry, and then also Mother Nature. You don't want it to rain tomorrow, or you don't want it to rain that night. So for most sealers, you want to actually install in the range of the 50 degree to maybe mid 80s, because if you're in the 90s and the 100s, that sun is beating. Let's just say you're doing it in the middle of the day. How hot is that pavement? Okay, that's where most jobs go bad, is people don't realize that this is a paint coating. As far as like walking on it, because I know most homeowners are going to want to know, hey, once you seal it, when can I walk on it? I would say if you could tell them, you know, 24 hours is probably the best, because you don't want them, even though they can, you know, once it dries, they could probably start walking on it. But just tell your homeowner about 24 hours, okay? Driving on it, 48 to 72 hours. okay, is the requirement we recommend for sealing driveways for them to drive on it, okay, just because it needs to cure, okay? So, the tools that you're gonna need is very simple. Pump sprayer, because this is a water-based sealer, so you can actually spray it out of any plastic device because it's not going to eat up anything. So realistically, a cone or a fan. Okay, so simply we're just going to pump this up. And since these are penetrating sealers, we're going to recommend 2 coats, wet on wet application. There's not 1 coat and then wait hours and then come back.
Any regular pump sprayer that does not, because everything's water-based, right?
Yes.
So we don't have to, what's the name of those pumps that's a metal-based?
Acetone resistant.
Acetone resistant,
yes.
Right? So once you have something that's oil-based, then you need that type of pump.
Correct.
But in this case, the plastic pump should do it.
Yes. So we've sprayed water in here, so I'm going to spray, pretend this is dirt. I just want to spray out all the water that was in the line. And I'm going to adjust it to a kind of like a cone, like a fan spray. So,
There's still water in there, yeah.
So this is a clear solution. So like I said, it's really a 2-part installation. So I'm going to find, like I said, a nice good cone setting. So I'm just going to do a circular motion. The first coat, this is just my first coat, kind of like a primer coat, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going. So this is just my first coat. Just like that, just a nice even coat. Now, after I did that 1 coat, I'm gonna actually go it over one more time. So you just wanna let the 2 coats soak up really well. So see how like it starts puddling, I'm just moving, right?
Right.
So once I'm done with a certain amount, depending on the weather, what we recommend is what we call back rolling. Okay, so you're going to get a 3/8 snap roller. So you're not using this to spread back and forth. So all you're trying to do is to eliminate puddling. So all we do is just pull the excess off, just like that. Pull it off. Especially on, yes, it's going to come out even. And so the important part of this is because certain pavers have dimples. Yeah. Right? Textures. So you want to just imagine this. You spray a wall, right? So do you leave the running streaks? No, you back roll it. Yeah. So that's to keep it same, perfect. And it's like I said, it's more designed, really more critical on textured pavers. You want to remove the excess because when you're spraying, Bruno, the sealer starts going to the low spots. Yeah. And in those low spots, the paver can't absorb it all. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've gone to jobs where someone's used a sealer and they got dark spots in those low spots. Yeah. Because excess sealer and they didn't back roll. So the next one is probably one of my favorite sealers because it's such an easy sealer. Because like I said, most people pay more money for this type of look, right?
Yeah.
And if you go and apply something to this, it ruins that look. Yeah. Okay, so this one right here is important when you're selling sealers to a homeowner that this right here, you choose the right sealer because if you use something like that, it's gonna make that paver look like this and they're gonna be mad that they paid extra money.
Exactly. Again, regular pump, you have the nozzle, you want to adjust it.
Yes.
Pump some of the water out and all that. And you can get this at Home Depot for about 15 bucks.
And you could reuse these too. They're not throwaway because these are water-based. You just basically rinse it out with some soapy Dawn dish soap with water and make sure you just rinse it out. Because it has no glue in there, so it's not going to get the tips, hard like normal sealers.
Yeah, some of the other stuff, the competitor stuff, we don't want to say names here, but they use their products in one of those pumps once and that's it. Even if you wash it, because they have too much, I think, chemical or I don't know what they have in.
Yeah.
it really mess up with the pumps.
So it might be because of those are the, if it comes in a metal can, so here's a saying, see that metal can right there? That's our solvent base. So anything typically that comes in a metal can should be sprayed in a metal can because of the solvents. So it's probably what you're talking about, what you're dealing with is a solvent-based product. And what you do is you put it in here, it'll eat up everything. So these pumps won't last. But we're using water-based, totally safe, environmentally free from fumes or not like that. So like this one we're going to use is our natural look. So the way you see these pavers, obviously when I spray it, it's going to look like I've changed the color, but it's going to dry. So same thing, I'm just going to put 2 coats on this. The first coat is essentially kind of like the primer coat.
Right. And you can see right away how it absorbs the whole thing. So the natural look will keep the natural look of the stone. That's simple. Okay.
It will keep the natural look of the stone. Once it dries, you're going to see this is a good sealer to sell to somebody that really doesn't want the maintenance, because once you enhance something like that, I mean, sealers are going to last, just really depends on the environment, anywhere from 1 to 3 years. So this one right here, since it's not changing the look, you're not changing the expectation. So this is one of my favorite sealers. As long as the job comes out nice and clean, you don't have any scuffing, because this one will not hide anything. So this is a great sealer for someone that really doesn't want to change the look of the paver, but really just wants to protect it from, you know, wine, if they got parties in the backyard, food, oils and stuff like this, because this has a good stain resistant product. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. I'm gonna come over here. Like I said, it's okay to give this time to actually let it absorb and then come back and make sure you just pull the excess off. That's it. Just pull it off as best you can. This sealer is the most forgiving sealer that we have out of all of them, because it dries clear. So no big deal if you left a little bit of residue. It basically will dry clear. So this one is a lot more forgiving. It's really more the film forming sealers that actually have the glue in it that you got to be very critical about.
That's so good.
Okay. That's it.
So that's the train for the day. That was the first train.